What up, y'all? Back row Tim. Bet it up. Bet it up, bet it up, bet it up. Alrighty. The white box. Today's job. Tearing out everything off the ass end. Probably gonna get some wind noise. Anyways. All the BS suspension. All the BS suspension. You can tell this is one of the cars I did years ago because this is one of the first braces I ever did on the rear end. But anyways, all this BS heavy duty springs, them air shocks, control arms, brakes, all this old garbage coming off. Gotta cut the exhaust pipe for how the coilovers go, which this single exhaust ain't staying anyways. So I'm about to start taking it apart, ripping the whole ass end apart. We have the coilovers for the back. We have the shocks, coilovers, blah, blah. We have the lower control arms. We have the upper control arms. We have the anti-roll setup. Everything's here for the back of the car. What I'm about to do. As you can see, somebody, like I said, this car's been through plenty of hands. Somebody cut the lip, which they didn't do a very good job. It's cut nasty, jagged, raggedy. And the car right here is cut in the black, which normally I'll do a little at the bottom, but somebody, you can see somebody moved this. I had this car where it looked stock. I had a very little notch at the bottom. I think just this inside bottom. But anyways, so front is done, 100. Alignment is all set. Gotta put the rest of the lug nuts on and see if the center cap fits. Sway bar links are in there, sway bars on it. All the counter keys are in it. Everything's greased. Toe in and toe out is set. Camera cats are set. Hotchkiss. How do you say it? Anyways, tie rod sleeves. I use these or the QA1 ones. These I like. There's about $20 difference in them, but that's the same stuff. I've ran into one problem with a set of these that weren't tapped right years ago. You know what, on Playboy Jeezy's car when we first did it. And I found one set of QA1s that were jacked up inside where they just need to be re-tapped. The threads need to be cleaned up a little bit on the inside. Brakes are on it. So I will continue this video. I will tear the ass end apart and I will give some direction on how I set it up for the coilovers. So I will fade out right now and fade back in. Bet it up. Here we go. Breaking it down. Springs out, junk. Air shocks out, junk. Backing plates are about to be off, junk. Here's the extended lowers that somebody did, junk. And then they put, this is a 9/16 hole, and they put a 1/2-inch bolt in it. So this thing was clank, 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 bouncing around, wasn't tight. Look at this side. Yep, look at that. It was pressed in real good. About to clean it all up. Put the cross brace up in there. Yep, I just did that. Tripped over the cover, knocked the bolts everywhere. Oh, work is excellent. And I'll be right back with a little bit more. Fade out, box Chevy 28s. What up? Back at it. Next part of this. Got them raggedy brakes off of there. Got some of it cleaned up. Haven't taken the uppers off yet. I cut the top. Let's see if I can get in here. Cut the top area out. You cut right with the seam right here of this metal. You cut across the top. So that way the cross member can go in here, which we use 1 5/8, schedule 40, 130 thousandths wall 2. So you basically center the two right on the seam where it's cut off, and you go straight across the car. Make sure it's square and plumb. You see this how it's cut out. Just cut a little triangle right out of that area, and we'll weld the tube in there. And that's the next part of setting up the coilovers, the welding coilovers on this car. Yeah, so more to go. I cleaned it up some more. I hit the whole frame with the air chisel with the hammerhead on it, so air hammer. So I knocked all the debris off, which there was a big mound on the floor, but I had to clean it up along with the rest of the shop. But I had to take the rear end apart, slide the axles out, take the axles out. I'll put new bearings and seals in it. Since I'm here, there's no point in not doing it. Still gotta knock this bolt off because it broke. Clean up this outer flange for the wheelwood brakes. Like I said, the whole kit is right there in the box. Wheelwood disc brakes to go on here. So whenever you guys put the backing plate on here, you gotta have all this little surface rust cleaned up. So you hit it with a wire wheel, like on a drill. You bolt it on. You want that backing plate to be square on here. Because if it's not square on here, when you put the caliper on and bolt it to the bracket, you could end up with it being twisted to where you can't set. They got shims in the kit, which I'll show that when I'm putting it together, to shim the caliper square to the rotor. But if your backing plate's not square, it's gonna jam you up. So, anyways, that's where we're at. I'm about to get out of here for the night. But we finished up the two 9-inch rear ends, one that needed to be clocked, and the other one I showed a short clip of, but I'll put it in here too on a new clip. This is the one for PC, Player's Choice, up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Like I said, I can't say what it's for. I don't think I can, but all that adjustment, boom, 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 the bracing, coilover brackets, boom. Yeah, so there we go. That's that. The other one, the other rear end was just to clock the ends, which was for Isaac. If you guys know who I'm talking about, Isaac, Big Isaac, West Side, Chicago. Anyways, he just picked it up. He just left. Now tomorrow, I'll clean up the rest of this. I'll put some paint. I'll put the cross brace in there, and I'll get some footage of that, and then I'll paint it, clean everything up, paint it. You guys know I like to clean this whole rail up, so when the paint goes on there, to be smooth. Which that is just your grinder. With, I got these 40 discs on here, so it's a soft grinding disc. On the grinder, grind up the rails, so when the paint goes on there, it's nice. So I gotta clean this side up. I gotta grab the bearings and seals tomorrow, and grab some paint. I think I only got like 1 can of paint left. All right, I'll fade back into this. All right, I got the cross brace, which is the coilover, cross member, cross brace, frame brace, and the anti-roll cross member. I got it tacked up in there. So, like I said, we're gonna cut the frame. Try to get over here, keep the light on it. But anyways, cut the frame, cut the little spot out. Tack weld it up in there. Mark your spots, tack weld it up in there. And what you wanna do is take a 3-foot level. You go across the frame tails, both sides being the same. And it tells you that it's level. And then when you put the cross brace up in there, get you like a 2-foot level, and you go up in there and you make sure it's level. So then, to make sure you're front and back, you just find a spot in the frame. That's damn light. Find a spot in the frame that's the same on both sides. So you can go from shock hole to the center of the bar. And that's gonna tell you that you're in the same spot. So I'm coming up with 11 1/8 to the center of the 2, from the front corner. And like I said, on the sides there, when you cut this area off, you got the line right here. And the line, basically you just mark it. Like this one's a little bit farther forward than I normally do, but that's fine for what I got going on. Normally I'll go right in the half. But this car, somebody jacked up the fuel lines and put an extension in here. I don't know. So normally I get a little bit tighter than that towards the back, but the shock tabs for the top are longer, and I know how to properly put the brackets on the housing so they don't have to be leaning all goofy. So I'm gonna weld that tube all the way in, and I just got some paint. So I'm gonna get that tube in and scuff all underneath there. The wheel well, the frame, all that. Clean the frame rail face off with the grinder, and I'm gonna put some paint on it. I got the new bearings. I got the seals. 8, that's the seal for basically any box Chevy, G-body, the outer seal for the back. And the bearings. And there's the bearing number, 5707. You always want to go with national on the bearing. The seal can be the cheap seal. It can be the Master Pro. But national on the hub bearings, outer axle bearings. So I will get that cleaned up and welded in, painted, and I'll be back right with you guys. Give me a minute. Got the cross member fully welded in, both sides. Try to get you a good shot of this. My welds and my brother's. Now I can go through, scuff everything, and paint it. And we'll be right back. Right back. Box Chevy, 28s. Tuckety tuck. Billet panels.